President William Ruto was amongst 2,000 invited guests who witnessed Queen Elizabeth II's send-off. The elaborate funeral service lasted for about an hour before a burial later on in the day at St. George's Chapel in Windsor. President Ruto is expected to head to the US for the United Nations General Assembly meeting. And as Brenda Wanga reports, members of the British Army stationed in Kenya also paid their last respect to the Queen.
World leaders began trooping into the Westminster Abbey, the venue of the funeral service of the late Queen Elizabeth II, early Monday morning. Kenya's President William Ruto, who left the country on Sunday for this service amongst 10 leaders from Africa invited for the Queen's send-off, joined the rest of the leaders as they waited for the coffin of the longest-serving British monarch to begin its final journey, quite literally. The service lasted 1 hour and saw the late Queen remembered for her great service to the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. The service, attended by 2,000 invited guests, was held in strict adherence to the Queen's Anglican faith. Far removed from London, members of the British Army training in Kenya and Nanyuki joined in the funeral the best way they knew how. The soldiers, their families and friends of the unit stationed at the Nyati barracks in Nanyuki, taking the chance to conduct their own service in memory of the late monarch.
We clearly can't be able to participate in the service today in London, but what we also have is a great opportunity to show the connection between Her Majesty the Queen and Kenya. It's a place that was very dear to her heart, and of course this is the place where she first became the Queen.
Our relationships date back to time immemorial, and those of us who live in this part of Laikipia where the British troops trade have also enjoyed a long-standing relations with a beneficial developmental matters.
They also followed the unfolding day-long send-off ceremony on television as they watched the coffin of their late Commander-in-Chief move from one venue to another in the elaborate military and state function. The last post, played to signify that a soldier has gone to his or her rest, marked the end of the funeral service and the start of the journey to her final resting place. The body of the late monarch, aboard a state-gun carriage with the Queen's orb and scepter and a colourful wreath placed atop it, was moved in the second of the day's processions from the Westminster Abbey to the Wellington Arch, with the family of the late Queen following behind the coffin, as all the state honours were bestowed upon the deceased leader, including a gun salute every minute for the duration of the procession and the tolling of the bell as the body passed through the landmarks, including the Buckingham Palace. From the Arch, the body, now in a state hearse, made the 42-kilometre journey from London to Windsor Castle in Berkshire. Along the way, hundreds of people lined up the roadside to pay their last tributes to the Queen, the evidence of that clear as the hearse embarked on the last procession of the day. Stems of flowers decorated the hearse, escorted by members of the royal family, marching close by as they made their way to the St. George's Chapel. Here, another short committal service before the body of the late Queen was lowered into a vault in the chapel. This will be her final resting place, where her body joins the remains of her ancestors, including her late father and her late husband. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.